Hello and welcome to today's video where we will be doing a shop along with me at Smith's. So typically my two grocery stores that I go to most frequently are Costco and Smith's. Between the two I usually can get most of what I'm looking for, but any grocery store could work for this and you should be able to find most of these things there. Definitely the things I get at Costco are because they're more affordable and I'm able to use our resources to go a bit further, but the things I can't get there, then I'll go to the regular grocery store for. So today, I'm going to go over what we picked up today on our trip to Smith's. So usually produce is the bulk of what I get there. There are some things that I'm able to get at Costco, but it's a bit more limited on the produce. I strive at this point to get as much organic as possible. The big reasons for that are that the nutrient profile is going to be greater and you're going to have less toxic burden from pesticides. But you might not always be able to afford that, or you might not always be able to find the produce that you're looking for in an organic form. One of the big resources that you can use is there is a nonprofit organization called Environmental Working Group, I'll link that below, that actually does studies on which vegetables and fruits have the highest amount of pesticides over that past year versus the least. And so they call it the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. So at the very least, as you're starting to make these transitions into a healthier lifestyle, you want to try to at least to gear to having all of the Dirty Dozen fruits and vegetables in an organic form because they're going to be your highest toxic burden. If they're on the Clean 15 list, then those are ones that you could easily get away with not having them organically grown. So from Smith's today, picked up our bag of onions. I definitely incorporate onions a lot into my cooking. They're a lot of my base flavor for a lot of what I do. Next we have our deep green lettuce. So we use this a lot for any meat wraps that we do. If we do make sandwiches, we'll put them on there, but a lot of times we'll use them just with the lettuce, the meat, the tomatoes, and all of those wrapped into that. I like this because it holds up pretty good. It's a little bit denser than maybe the iceberg lettuce, so you're going to get a little bit stronger nutrition in that way, but not quite as dense as like your deep greens. Lemon, we've got our organic lemons. We're going to use those for flavoring different dishes. I usually pick up one or two just because I will end up using them somewhere. Don't always have a place for them, and sometimes they end up going bad. Also great to have on hand, especially during immune system season, because lemons are excellent sources of vitamin C. So if you start feeling like you're getting a sore throat or anyone's coming down with anything, cutting up some lemon, putting it in your water, or making a tea out of it can be very beneficial in that way. So always a great thing to have on hand. Next is our bell peppers. We eat a lot of bell peppers around here. Our colorful ones, yellow, orange, and red, I usually get quite a few of those in order to just chop up and snack on. That's one of the big snacks that we eat at our house, so I'll usually get those. Green bell peppers I will get for making some sort of meal out of. So usually I'll do stuffed peppers where I will do some sort of meat, maybe quinoa, vegetable inside, and then stuff them in the peppers for cooking that way. So that's something that we'll do fairly frequently as another way of getting some additional veggies in. Definitely go through quite a bit of zucchini. We use them frequently in our house. I got a lot this week. I'm going to try to venture into making a zucchini lasagna. I'll let you know how that goes. If it goes well, I'll make a video on it. So we picked up some cashews for that as well. In this particular recipe, it uses cashews as an alternative to cheese with nutritional yeast. So we're going to give this a go and see how it goes. So we picked up a few extra ingredients for that this time. We have our berries. Strawberries were at a good price today, so we picked up some of those. Our raspberries, I'm going to use those. Usually we use those either as a sweet snack or for topping our superfood breakfast cereal that you can link to in another video. Asparagus is usually one that we cycle through. Our asparagus, a lot of times I will just lightly saute and then add some butter, maybe some raw Parmesan cheese, salt, Sometimes I'll add a little lemon to this. So lots of different ways you can add a twist to that, but yummy thing to cook there. Broccoli, we did a video on broccoli. Always will get that. Broccoli is so great to just mix into numerous things. Stir fries, into breakfast burritos, into our stuffed peppers. I mean, all different ways that you can be utilizing that. Cauliflower, lots of different ways you can use your cauliflower. I typically, probably the top 3 ways I'll use it is making me into cauliflower rice, as well as cutting it up and using it in soups. And then I also like making cauliflower steaks out of it. So those are a few different ways that we'll use the cauliflower around our house. Next is cabbage. I have grown to absolutely love cabbage. I crave this stuff. One of the main ways that I make it is that I will slice it up pretty thinly, saute it in some butter, salt, a little bit of pepper, and let it cook for quite a while. And then after that, at the very end, you add in a little bit of vinegar, and it just makes it so yummy. So I usually will make almost the entire thing, or the entire thing up in that way, and then I will have that in my refrigerator and will add that to different things. So I'll add the cabbage that's cooked to some of the soups I make, or to a stir fry I make, or in different ways. So a lot of times, I've talked about that in other videos, I'll just make a whole bunch of one vegetable at one time so that I don't have to continue to prep that, and it's already done, and then I can just pull from it in out of the fridge. Next, I wanted to show these so that you didn't think that we never eat anything like this. So I also picked up some organic cheese sticks. Now these aren't things that we eat every single day, and I'm not a huge proponent of dairy, and so it's a moderation type thing. I have found that when we eat fairly clean, that we don't tend to react to cheese. I definitely have a reaction, and my kids have a reaction with straight milk. If it's been pasteurized, raw milk we don't tend to. Also, yogurts definitely can be agitating to the digestive tract. It kind of hits a middle ground when you get into things like sour cream and cottage cheese, because they're going to be a little bit more fermented. And then you have cheese. Cheese, in the ideal, you can get in a raw form, which is great. Organic's going to be kind of your next best, but that is something that we'll have as a snack or add to our things here in our household. So I just wanted you to know that in making all these healthy changes, try to get the best quality possible, but we still do use cheese, and we still incorporate those things into our diet. Now, there's definitely different schools of thought. Some people are going to be more hardcore and eliminate it altogether. I have found that cheese seems to not be much of an agitation to our systems with everything else that we do, so that is an area that I give us a little bit of leeway. Also picked up some cream cheese because Valentine's is this weekend, and I have a daughter's request for crepes, so we're splurging on that this week. And we splurge. There's times that we splurge, so rest assured you're not alone. Also picked up some jazz apples. I have a really hard time getting my apples from Costco. For whatever reason, they always don't turn out very well. So I love the apples from Smith's. My two favorite kinds are jazz apples and Honeycrisp. I like my apples crispy. I don't like them soft at all. So those are my two favorite apples. Next we have our keto bread. So we don't eat a ton of bread at our house, but this is the best bread I've been able to find. It's not organic, but it has really clean ingredients, and it is made with almond butter, flaxseed, arrowroot flour, psyllium husk, almond flour, has no oils in it. It has apple cider vinegar, sea salt, baking soda, and eggs. So a really, really clean bread. I have one child that is absolutely intolerant to gluten, and so this is something that we'll use on the occasion that we do make a sandwich or that we do have some sort of bread. So that's something to get. Also, not organic, but I haven't been able to find this at the regular grocery store in organic form. It is non-GMO, and I love this stuff. It is just 3 ingredients: rice flour, water, and modified tapioca starch. So pretty dang clean. And a really, really fun way to mix it up if you're burned out on just having rice or quinoa or things like that. I love doing the rice noodles and doing some sort of saute dish. So a lot of times I'll do, shredded carrots, some of the cabbage that I cooked up, some broccoli, some zucchini, and just make it into a nice, yummy noodle stir fry. And we all love that around here. So that's something that is usually a staple at our house. Next one is our tortillas. So they do have wheat, which is not always ideal, but we don't react to these, which most wheat products we do. Burritos have been one way that is so successful at getting vegetables into my children. So this is something that we do regularly in the form of a breakfast burrito most often, or sometimes we'll make a different type of burrito at lunch or at dinner. But this is something that we'll use a lot with our kids for breakfast or for lunches, because it seems to be that when I do a straight vegetable, sometimes they're not always as excited to eat it, but when I do those same vegetables mixed in with some sausage or some eggs and then put it in a burrito, that they eat it no problem. So this can be a really good place to start if you're trying to work towards incorporating that in. The reason I love this one so much is because you know that I'm a stickler for oils, and 2 parts. These have far less ingredients because they're partially cooked, which also means they taste way better. So you do have to cook them on the stovetop, but they use lard, which is actually a healthier fat, and they don't really have many ingredients. They've got enriched flour, which is not ideal, but we do our best. Water, lard, salt, calcium propionate, which is the preservative, and fumaric acid. So pretty dang clean and pretty simplified, and they taste great. Kids love them. So that is one of the things that we keep in stock around our house. Last couple things that we do for our fast, easy, quick meals for lunches or for those times that you're just not up for preparing everything is for my son that is super gluten intolerant, we do the Simply Smart Organics gluten-free. Again, these are really great. These are actually a really good price too. And so I like them probably the best for all around. And again, one of the hardest things when you're looking at especially chicken nuggets or something like that is the type of oil they're using. And in here, they actually are not using an oil. And so they're really quite clean. A few different seasonings, organic chicken, using a rice flour, a corn flour for their meal, and then various different spices and things. But they taste quite good, and my kids do pretty well with them. So that is what we go for our chicken nuggets. The other one that we go for, they're a bit more expensive, but I have a couple children that tend to like these ones more, so we have a mix of both. They are also an organic chicken strip, and they are clean as well, not having many. I don't think these ones have an oil either. Nope. So both really, really clean. Ideal chicken nuggets. So can kind of start gearing towards something like that. Last thing that we have at our house that is one of our quick fixes is our cauliflower veggie pizzas. These are something that we will go to at our house. I still like pizza. My kids like pizza. And so a lot of times what we'll do is we'll get the veggie cauliflower pizza, and then I will get clean, no nitrate, pepperoni at Smith's, and we'll put that on top of it. A lot of times I'll cut up additional veggies, add some peppers, add some zucchini, add some tomato, maybe some mushrooms, and make our own really fresh, yummy pizza. But these ones have a pretty solid base. They're using sunflower and an extra virgin olive oil, so they do a good job with their oils and their ingredients. So out of all of the frozen pizzas that I've looked at. These ones are probably the cleanest I've found and something that we utilize in our house. So there you have it for today's Shop with Me. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Look forward to seeing you next time.